We are looking at converting fractions and percents. So we're going to look at writing a fraction as a percent and vice versa, writing a percent as a fraction. Let's start with fraction to percent. Let's say the first fraction that I have is 11 over 25, and I need to write that as a percent. I'm going to show you two different methods today. So for this first fraction that I have here, I'm going to think, okay, a percent is a number out of 100. So basically my goal is to figure out, okay, 11/25 would be what out of 100? And I can think, okay, well, 25 is a factor of 100. So if I do 25 times 4, that's going to get me 100. So why don't I just do 11 times 4? And that would give me 44 out of 100. So all that means is that 11 over 25 is 44%. Okay. I'm going to show you another one where that method isn't going to be quite as easy. So let's look at the fraction 3/8. Let's write 3/8 as a percent. If we think here, if I use the same method, it presents a little bit more of a challenge for me. It's still doable, okay, but 8 is not a factor of 100. So I would need my calculator to figure out what that multiple is, and I would have to do that with 3/8. You can use this method. You can almost solve it like a proportion. I'm going to show you a different method. So I am going to convert 3/8 to a decimal by dividing out the fraction. So I'm going to do 3 divided by 8, and that's going to give me 0.375. And then, so that's the decimal value of my fraction here. And now a fraction is always out of 100. So I need to take that decimal value and either multiply it by 100 on your calculator and get that value, or you can think multiplying by 100 is the same thing as just bumping your decimal place to the right 2 spots. So that would give me 37.5%. Okay, this method works every single time. Okay, it's a little bit easier for this one. We can do it mentally. For this one, mentally, it's a little bit more of a challenge unless you know your division of 8 and your decimal. So let's try looking at going from percent to a fraction. Let me erase all of this here. Give me a second. So we're going from percent to fraction now. So remember, a percent is always a number out of 100. If we know that, this is a piece of cake. Let's say I have 85%, and I need to write that as a fraction. So again, remember, percents are all out of 100. That's the definition of a percent, is a number out of 100. So I need to start by writing my percent as a fraction out of 100, but I do need to simplify. I always want to simplify fractions if possible. So I'm going to think here. Let's simplify that. What are some common factors of 85 and 100? So right off the top of my head, we have a 5 and we have a 0. If both numbers have end in either a 5 or a 0, you know that they can be divided by 5. So I'm going to divide both of these by 5. 85 divided by 5, that would give us 17. 100 divided by 5 is going to give me 20. And that is as far as I can go. 17 and 20 do not have any common factors. That's as far as I can go. So 85% written as a fraction is 17 over 20. Let's try another one. Let's go with maybe 4%. So again, start off by writing our percent as a fraction out of 100, and I need to simplify. So right off the bat, you should at least see that both of these numbers are even, which means that they can be divided by 2. But I would rather go one step further. It's always quickest and easiest if you can find the greatest common factor, which in this case is 4. I can divide out a 4 from my numerator and my denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I do 4 divided by 4, I get 1. When I do 100 divided by 4, I get 25. So 4% as a fraction is 1 over 25. And that is it. See ya.